Today I'll be looking at Namibia and Japan export data, and then I'll look at Namibia and Japan trade process. I'll also look at the concept of internationalization, and I'll also go through commercial diplomacy, and I'll also share my theoretical framework in depth and my instrument for my data collection. Just to take you back, my paper is investigating the challenges in implementing Namibian National Trade Policy of 2024 for the SME through the Namibian Embassy in Tokyo. Today I will explore how the institutional and operational dynamics affect policy outcomes and the SME participation in Japan's market. The aim is just to analyze the institutional and operational challenges faced by the Namibian Embassy in Tokyo in implementing trade policy mechanism for SME internationalization. These are some of my questions that will help me to gather the data by my data collection instrument, which I will look at 3 points of how does the embassy support Namibian SME export activities through trade diplomacy, and what institutional or operational barrier limits the SME access to Japan market, and what strategy can strengthen the policy implementation to enhance SME participation. My hypothesis, I'm under the impression that the embassy faces institutional misalignment, which and also it has perhaps limited capacity and resources constraints that hinder effective implementation for the Namibian SME trade policy. The background of my study, I'll not go in depth, I've already highlighted before, but in actual fact, there is a gap between policy intention and the actual trade outcome, and this continues to limit the growth potential for the Namibian SME, and it's undermining the national goal for job creation, inclusive growth, and economic diversification. Given this context, my research will explore those challenges. Namibia since 2024 export structure to Japan remains heavily dominated by only seafood, which they've indicated is 4.2 million US, while smaller but strategic categories including processed food, industrial goods, handicraft, scientific instruments show potential for diversification, and targeted embassy support and trade promotion could perhaps transform this micro-export into sustainable export cluster. I've shared with you the products of that Namibia so far has exported to Japan, and the potential of product. And on the paper that I've shared with you, it's showing that the scientific technical products that only cover 17.4%, and then there's textile and handicraft, which cover 21.7%. Then there's industrial goods, which cover 17.4%. Then there's agricultural food, which cover 21.7%, and then there's seafood, which cover also 21.7%. Which Namibia had exported for the past 10 years to Japan. And the recent data from the Namibian Statistics Agency, they've indicated that there is an increase export, which is 317% between July 2024 and July 2025, from 25.9 million yen to 108 million. Primarily only driven by the seafood and mineral export. But however, Japan export to Namibia remains significantly high, which is totaling to 536 million, and mostly is consisting of vehicle, machinery, and industrial equipment. And this persistent trade imbalance illustrates structural dependency, and it highlights the embassy challenges in diversifying Namibia export base. Enhanced commercial diplomacy could leverage Japan network to identify market gaps suitable for Namibian SME. This is according to the World Trade data. And this figure aligns with Namibian national trade policy, which emphasizes inclusive and SME-led industrial diversification. It's a strategic tool for economic resilience. The concept internationalization. This concept to internationalize small and medium enterprises has emerged as a crucial catalyst for economic development and innovation in the era of escalating globalization. This is according to Hazard. And according to Gegina 2022, he has indicated that the small and the medium enterprise are flexible and very creative. They know how to handle complex nature of international markets, and as a result, make a big difference contributing to the growth and development of their home country. But even though many small businesses in this try to expand internationally, they face still many challenges. And according to Naray, the internal problems include limited money, high cost of expanding abroad, and not enough skilled workers. And the external problems that they face, there are things like complicated paperwork in other countries, strong competition, poor infrastructure, big cultural differences, and a lack of support from organizations that are supposed to help them to internationalize, for example, the embassies. We'll also look at the cooperative insight between Japan SME policy framework. Japan's successes in SME internationalization is strongly driven by institutional policy mechanism and consistent coordination among agencies such as the Ministry of Economics, Trade and Industry, and Japan External Trade Organization, JETRO, and Small Medium Enterprises Agency. And according to May 2024, Japan SME Agency developed strategic programs such as G-Good Tech and global niche top companies to facilitate SME export and innovations. And this initiative demonstrates how institutional framing, clear mandates, coordination, and funding can effectively translate policy into measurable outcomes. JETRO played a vital diplomatic role in commercial diplomacy by providing foreign market intelligent business matching platforms and direct support to SME expanding abroad. And in contrast, if embassies face limitation in resources, capacity, and data system, it hinders their ability to support SME effectively. This was stated by McKinsey. And this comparison underscores how robust institutional framework for sufficient operational capacity and targeted institutionalization strategy are essential to bridge the gap between policy design and policy implementation. And according to the Economic Research Institution, Asian and East Asia for 2007, they examined SME policy in Asian countries with a focus on export market access and networking and government support agency and internationalization challenges. They have highlighted the constraints such as coordination among government agencies, capacity of SME to engage globally, and the role of export promotion institutions. The SME subcommittee recommended that government should provide the following to improve SME access into international markets. For example, more trade affairs, area of SME to display their products, area of SME to meet buyers, and location for SME to take part in short course or training in the market. Again, they look at the commercial diplomacy concept, which according to the rate 2017, highlight the adverse impact of insufficient government assistance and bureaucratic obstacle on SME during their internationalization endeavor, and the concept of commercial diplomacy was found to be a vital facilitator of this. And one of the main priorities of commercial diplomacy is to support small businesses companies in their first steps to be made in foreign market, which commercial diplomacy refers to a diverse array of actions and techniques that are used by government, diplomatic mission, and trade promotion organizations to facilitate the worldwide expansion of SME. This according to Patrick 2022. And the commercial diplomacy, like the embassy in Tokyo, was found to be providing the strategic assistance, surmounting the obstacle associated with international growth and engaging in negotiating, lobbying, and relationship building activity to cultivate advantage trade and investment conditions for SME in an international market. These are some of the diplomatic tactics used by the commercial diplomacy to facilitate global achievement for SME. And based on the review, the literature by Laimi again 2017, they've indicated key themes and explicating the ways in which commercial diplomacy expanded SME internationalization efforts, which is strategic partnership, and commercial diplomacy helps SME in strategic partnership and networking, providing also access and information to the SME, which also enhance credibility and reputation, and it also helps for risk mitigation and conflict resolution, and also for market access and expansion opportunities, as I've stated earlier on. This review helps build a clear framework to understand how diplomacy supports the global success of small and medium businesses. It shows that tailored support like group policy, network, and cooperation between government is important for helping SME compete internationally. On my theoretical framework, I look at public policy, which refer to decisions made by government actors to address public problems. And the implementation stage is crucial because it determines the success of a policy in achieving its goals. The theoretical problem in this study is based on the assumption that public policy is not always successfully implemented as expected, even though it has been well designed normatively. And in the context of implementing the national trade policy for Namibian SME to internationalize, the framing model for implementation and minded policy making, which was developed by Berg 2023, emphasized the importance of two main variables, and that is influence the success of implementation. Namely, number one is institutional framing, and number two is operational framing. And we'll look at international framing, which, according to Berg, policy are more likely to fail when there is a misalignment between the policy and the implementation context of when there is